Alright, so we're going to take a look at ratios and proportions. So, a ratio is just a comparison of two numbers. Okay? A lot of times you'll see ratios for students to teachers. But these ratios for a lot of different things. Okay? But you're just comparing two different things. So, it can be written using the word to, okay, with a colon, which is just two dots, or as a fraction. Okay, so like 1/3. Okay, most common fraction. So a lot of times you'll see it written as a fraction or with colons. Okay. So how can we write these? So if we look at number 1, Jack weighs 200 pounds, John weighs 150 pounds. Write the ratio comparing Jack's weight to John's weight. So if I'm just using the word to, I'm putting Jack's weight to John's weight. So Jack's 200 pounds to John's weight 150. Okay. If I'm writing it as a colon, same thing, the same numbers, 200 with the colon to 150. And if I write it as a fraction, 200 over 150. Now, here's where it gets a little tricky. You have to have it simplified form, okay? So if I have a fraction, 200 over 150, how can I simplify that? All right, 4 over 3. How do I get 4 over 3?
By using my calculator.
By using your calculator. So, that fraction holds true, okay? So if you're simplifying the word 2, again, put it in as a fraction in your calculator, okay? It still comes out to 4 to 3. Same thing here with a colon. Again, your calculator can't use the word 2 or the colon, right? But you can type it as a fraction to help simplify. So if I type this in as a fraction, now 4 over 3 in the calculator, when I type in 200 over 150, it's going to give me 1 and 1/3. Right? How do I convert mixed number to improper fraction? Hit the second button,
I did one time.
and then the ABC button. Okay?
Wait, so how do you do that?
Yours is different. So the red calculators, second, and then the ABC button. Alright, so we can also have what we call an extended ratio. Okay? So an extended ratio is just a ratio comparing more than two numbers. Okay? So it says the perimeter of a triangle is 27 centimeters. So the ratio of the sides are 5 to 3 to 1. Find the length of each side. So with these extended ratios, to help us solve them, okay, we're just going to set up an equation. Now, how do I calculate perimeter? Nope. That area. How do I calculate perimeter? Nope. Just adding up the sides. Adding all the sides together. So, perimeter, add the sides. So all the sides add up to 27. Okay? So to do this, we're going to set up this equation, and I'm just putting an x with each ratio. So 5x plus 3x plus 1x all add up to 27. Okay? Because again, remember, this is a simplified ratio, so we need to find what did I multiply to each one to get that actual length. Okay? So combine like terms. So 5 plus 3 plus 1 gives me what? 9x. And solve for 9 or x, we get do what? divide by 9. So x equals 3. So is that the side length?
No, that's the,
No.
isn't that what is this divided by each one?
That's what I need to multiply each one by. So to get the first side length, I take 5 times 3. I get 15. I then take 3 times 3, and I get 9. And last one's 1 times 3, or just 3. So 15, 9, and 3 are my 3 side lengths. Right? So that's that extended ratio. So the other thing we're going to take a look at is a proportion. So a proportion it's an equation that states that two ratios are equal. Basically, it's two equal fractions, right? Okay, so ratio 3/6, ratio is 4/8. We know that they're both equal, right? How do I solve proportions? We cross multiply. So this is where our cross multiply comes in. Okay? So cross multiply. Again, multiplying the two that are diagonal, right? So 5 times 9. I'm going to write it all out, but that gives us 45. 15 times y. Right? So then I simplify 5 times 9 gives me 45. Divide by 15, and y then equals 3. Okay? So multiplying the two numbers diagonal, dividing by the other side. So yeah, that's if it's just numbers. Okay? If I have algebraic ones here, okay, so I have actual expressions in here. Okay? So same idea, we're multiplying the diagonal ones here. So 4 times x plus 3 equals 2 times 3x. Okay? Again, you're going to need to write these out. How do I multiply 4 times x plus 3?
You like
Distribute. So 4 times x, 4x, 4 times 3, 12, and 2 times 3x gives me 6x. Okay, so I got x's on both sides, so let's get all the x's on the same side now. What do I need to move? Let's get rid of that 4x by what? Good, subtracting 4x on both sides. So that cancels, so 12 is then going to leave me with 2x, so 12 equals 2x. Divide by 2, and x equals 6. Okay. Any questions there with proportions? Okay, so if you have an expression on the top or the bottom, write it out so we can distribute. Okay, distribute to get our multiplication. All right, last one here. So if I have a word problem, okay, and I'm going to use a proportion to solve it. Okay, so it says you count 390 trees in 3 acres of a 150-acre forest. Estimate the total number of trees in the forest, right? So, you know, you could do something like this. They would do this with like ponds, local ponds. They'll shock an area of the pond or lake, see what fish are in there, and then they can figure out, you know, how many of each type of species of fish are in there. Okay, estimate it. So, biggest thing is make sure your fractions are the same on both sides. So I like to write a little helper right here. Okay, so my first fraction is going to be words. What am I talking about? Trees and acres, right? So that's what I'm going to write in here. Doesn't matter, trees, acre. It doesn't matter where it is. You can put T and A, I don't care, as long as you know what it is, okay? And then I'm going to set up my actual proportion. So I'm going to take one set of data, so here's one set, right? Trees is 390, acres are 3, right? The other set of data, I've only got one piece, 150 acres. So does it go on the top or the bottom? Bottom. So 150 is acres, so it goes on the bottom. And then you can put an X or a Y or whatever variable you want to put in there. And now I'm going to cross multiply. So I'm multiplying diagonal, dividing by 3, right? So 390 times 150, who can tell me what that is? 58500, and then when I divide that by 3, I get what? $19,500. Okay. Now, is that trees or acres? Trees, right? Because again, X is on top, so X is with the trees. Now, just so you see it, again, it doesn't matter how I set this up. I could put acres on top, trees on the bottom. So when I set up my proportion, now I have acres on top, so I have 3 on top, trees on the bottom, 390, acres on top, which is 150, trees on the bottom, don't know. But you can see, when I cross multiply, what numbers am I still multiplying together? 390 and 150, and still dividing by 3, okay? So again, that proportion doesn't necessarily matter as long as it fits each ratio. Each fraction is the same. Does that make sense? Questions on that? So really that first fraction, however you set it up, make sure the second fraction matches with what's on top and what's on the bottom there. Okay? Alright, so that's ratios and proportions. That's it. Pretty basic. Okay? Again, a lot of stuff you've already done before. So that's why we're only going to spend 3 days on it.